All right. We're just gonna go right into what we're doing. We'll give it a few minutes, let people get on. I usually play music, but I want to save the time for us to get into this discussion, right away.
Mayor, can you just remind me, can you see questions and stuff on your end?
I can, and yep. If people have questions, I'll relay those to you. That's usually how we do it. So, still got a few people. Mike Mincy, how you doing? Phil Baddop, Julia Barron. I know y'all used to hearing the music, but we're gonna get right into the discussion once we get a nice number of people on. Tanya Tucker is important. I just want to use all of the time talking about the things we need to talk about. We usually have like 10, 15 minutes, so I want to use all of it. Nene Mincy, how are you? Thank all of y'all for getting on. Obviously, Sajada, Ardelia, how you doing? We are going to get right into this discussion. We have Commissioner LaTourette with us, as well as Director Adeem, Kareem Adeem from Water and Sewer, Brian Bembry, what's going on, to talk to us about what people have heard in the paper and on this platform. Some of it is good. Others of it is misinformation that I've even saw here myself. Karama Colette, that people have. Unfortunately, some of us like to, we like the drama. I get it. So, Gwen Smith Stokes, how are you? Good evening. We want to make sure you have accurate information that we're sending around to folks as we talk about Newark's model lead replacement line program in Newark. Vanessa Sullivan, how are you? How are you? Glad you're on as well. You got people coming on from Trenton and other parts of the state. I guess they're concerned about this as well. They should be. Newark People's Assembly, how are you? All politics are local, WRNU radio. So glad to have all you guys with us. Fred Morass, how you doing, sir? To talk to us about this. So you want to, like we did previously, Kareem, you want to start us off, and then I'll jump right into the commissioner and let him talk, and then I'll kind of even it off and see if I can field any questions that pop up here.
Thank you, Mayor. Thank you, Commissioner LaTourette. I just want to, say good evening to everyone. We're just here to update you on the city and the NJDP's effort to update you on where we at with the lead service line audit project, and share with you a little information about findings and the next steps and things like that. Moving forward, I'll push it over to Commissioner. Still on mute.
Still on mute. Apologies. Good afternoon to all the Newarkers and others who have joined us from around the state. I'm Sean LaTourette. I'm the commissioner of our Department of Environmental Protection, and we've been working hard with your mayor, Baraka, Director Adeem, and his team at Newark Water and Sewer to audit the compliance with New Jersey's lead service line replacement requirements to make sure that the contractors who worked throughout the city to replace all lead service lines in record time have done so in a way that is consistent with the law and that continues to protect the health of our residents. And I am proud to say that thanks to the partnership with the mayor and Kareem and team, that we have completed our audit work, and an audit report's going to be available in the weeks ahead. But we wanted to give you all a quick preview of what you'll find, and the end result further gives us confidence in the success of the city's lead service line replacement program, and I'm going to explain what I mean. When we became aware that a contractor who did work in the city might not have done all of the work promised and could have left some remaining lead components in the ground, we pursued an audit of all the work done by all the contractors all across the city. And we did that in two ways. First, through a targeted audit that was focused on the problems identified anonymously to us and the federal government. And then we did, at the same time, a randomized audit across the entire city and all of the contractors. And in that targeted work, we found that the lead service lines that were replaced were mostly replaced in keeping and in full with all requirements. But in some instances, there was remaining lead. And so in that targeted audit, we excavated 403 lead service lines and found that 33 properties had some remaining lead. And that was in our targeted work focused on that one contractor. But then as we began to do the work across the city, we worked with statisticians, scientists here at your Department of Environmental Protection to come up with a randomized citywide audit that took us all across Newark. And in that work, we excavated 388 service lines across the city, finding only 2 addresses where some remaining lead were found. And in all of these cases, both the targeted and the randomized, any remaining lead that was found was taken out and replaced. And throughout this entire study, we have continuously confirmed that Newark's corrosion control treatment, which is continuing to provide a protective layer within pipes, has been optimized to protect residents whose water might still come into contact with some lead component, whether that was something left in the street when it shouldn't have been, or if that's lead that could be still within indoor plumbing, since neither the city or the DEP has control over that. We have to make sure that that corrosion control is still in place, still protecting you, and it is. And all of this together has given us the confidence in the success of Newark's lead service line replacement program and in the level of compliance, but for that bad actor. And I believe strongly that Newark's lead service line replacement program remains a national success and a model that those across the country not just should follow, but are following. And I thank all of you Newarkers for setting that example. And I'll turn it over to your mayor.
Thank you. I appreciate that, Commissioner. Just want to say, so folks know again how this began. I know there were people talking. Some of it was a little weird on Monday, some of the stuff people were saying, but ultimately the Department of Justice did an investigation, a long investigation. So this idea that nobody's going to be held accountable is just not true. The Department of Justice has done an investigation and have come out with what they believe who are the bad actor in this and everything else that's related to it. And they've moved forward on that. Their job is to do that. Our job is to change the lead service lines and make sure that the public is not in any danger from lead getting in the water. The commissioner spoke about that very eloquently and clearly, that nobody has been in danger ever since this has taken place, and that the water department has in fact changed those lines with the help of another contractor and people who we mentioned earlier were folks from the city who helped change those lead service lines to make sure that all the lead was in fact gone. We also talk about a small percentage of, and relatively speaking, of 23,000 lines that was, that we changed in the city. And then there's the concern about, did this happen in a particular part of the city? And that's just not what happened. These guys did work throughout the city in various places, so there's no particular part of the city where this took place. Unfortunately, it happened in different parts of the city that we had to go check and fix. The other side of it is not all of the work, the things that they did based on what the indictment said was about them leaving lead in the ground. Some of it was about them seeing that the lead had already been removed and taking credit for removing it when they in fact did not do it. It was already done by someone else. They just took credit for it. So that's also a part of the complaint against them as well. The unfortunate thing is that these folks were moving around and doing jobs throughout, different parts of the state, and maybe even getting ready to do stuff around the country because of the work they allegedly did here in the city of Newark. But just want to rest assured to you that the Water Department, DEP, and the Department of Justice has done an incredible job in making sure, that we identified the problem, 2, that we rectified the problem, and 3, that we brought to justice the individuals that needed to be brought to justice. So the last thing is a question up here. Again, 25,000 homeowners or more renters with this impact. Who was the prime contractor? There's one contractor who was responsible for this. There are multiple contractors that did this work. We checked randomly. We went through thousands of documents. The commissioner just told you that, out of the random checks they did, they found 2 out of those. So we're talking about a small number of people in the universe that were affected by the actual shoddy work, right? Or people who lied and said they changed work that they did not change. But the real saving grace is that the corrosion control in the water actually worked and stopped lead from leaching from pipes into the water, which means that no one was in danger at any point. I know some of y'all on here don't want to hear that, but it means that no one was in danger at any point during this situation because in water testing, our water was always in compliance to the lead and copper rule that the state and the federal government puts upon us. Kareem?
Yeah, Mayor, I just want to say, thank you for everyone that's on. Good evening. Our latest round of testing, we tested ending December 2023. We tested 111 sites, and our results were 0.2 or either 9 detect. It means when you get to those levels, it's 9 detect out of 102 sites. Our corrosion control that we put in back in May of 2019 continues to be effective. We've seen that immediately when we put it back in. We put it back in 2019, and those results are holding. I also want to thank, the Newark residents, or residents in general that allowed us to come to their homes with short notice to help us with this audit, targeted and random. And an NJDEP team, you not only was letting Newark in, but you were letting DEP, Newark come in together to do a physical investigation or tear up your front lawn or your front sidewalk. And we're still restoring some of that stuff today. So we're not finished with the restoration, but we will be doing that. The biggest take on this is that, the mayor said, the commissioner said these actors will be held accountable. We don't want to take away from the program. We did successfully replace 23,190 lead service lines. And, these were replaced by some of our own residents, right? And some of our own residents also even came back and helped remove some of the ones we found during the audit, right? If you want water testing, the water department is still offering free water testing. You can get that water testing by calling 973-733-6303, 973-733-6303. Or you can email us at waterandsewer, one word, waterandsewer @ci.north.nj.us. And like the mayor said and the commissioner said also, this is the garden state. We plant the seeds for the nation to follow. And this program is still a model program around the nation. Me and the commissioner were just yesterday with the president out in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. Newark is still a model program that, we go out to explain to others or show other communities how they can get a program to be as successful as Newark's. Just want to, emphasize on that. And thank you again, residents, for letting us come in short notice and go through this audit. We will be working around the community as we do community meetings, answering some concerns. And the commissioner did state that the final audit report will come out and it'll be available in the coming weeks.
Yeah, and when that happens, we'll try to disseminate it to as many folks as we can so you could see it, I guess, in a fashion that people can digest it. But we'll send it to you guys as well. There is a statement that we've come out with. You can check that on our social media sites that we've come out with in partnership with the NJDEP. So you can look at our websites and you can see that, as well, what our statement is in relationship to this. And I know the Water Department is going to send something out to ratepayers, to households, so you could see what the Water Department has done as it relates to this as well. And this won't, and the question I got, this will not affect people's water bill. This will not affect your water bill. Our effort to come out and fix this again will not affect your water bill. Each company, good or bad, has to take out a bond in case something like this happens, in case they do bad work, shoddy work, we find something that they did improper, which is the case. We have the ability to go fix that and recuperate our dollars from the bond or the insurance that they took out in order to do this job. So this should not or will not affect what you're paying for your water bill, us being able to fix this problem. Right. You guys have any last things you want to add that you think would be helpful?
Just again, thanks to you, Mayor, and to Kareem. While we've spent the last 10 months working through this audit, a considerable amount of folks have contributed their time and efforts to that. I want to thank all of those in Newark and Water Sewer who have contributed countless hours, right, to making sure that your residents and your neighbors are safe. And I want folks to know across the state that in this example too, Newark is helping all of us in every part of New Jersey to ensure this work is done well. The lessons we've learned through this audit will result in reforms that will improve lead service line replacement being done in other parts of New Jersey right now. So for that, I thank you, Mayor. Thank you, Kareem, for continuing to set an example for us all.
Thank you. And Mayor, I just want to reiterate again, if you want water testing, it's 973-733-6303, 973-733-6303, or you can email us at water and sewer, one word, water and sewer at ci.newark.nj.us.
Yep, and I would like to end by telling you the President of the United States yesterday came out and said that he wants to change every lead service line in America in 10 years, which is a very ambitious and laudable goal. And I applaud the President in trying to get that done. But I would have to imagine that at some aspect that because of the work we've done here in this city, in this state, to get to the bottom of this, it has been helpful nationally to get them to see the urgency of it, but not only the urgency, that is actually possible to get this actually done. I think prior to that, people questioned the possibility of getting this done, but because we were able to do it, I can see that the country now has the urgency and the will to actually get it done. So I appreciate you guys for getting on, listening to us. Thank you to the commissioner. Thank you, director, for getting on. Hopefully we can do it another time coming soon. So you guys have an incredible evening, and I'll catch you guys next week. Take care.
Thank you, Mayor. Thank you, Commissioner.
Thank you.
Have you ever met the commissioner? He was in Milwaukee with me yesterday. Vice President. Good guy, by the way.